Alrighty, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Doc here from North America. And as you can see, they're selling down the dollar. Interesting. And interest rates are dropping at the same time. So, defying gravity. I think that's the only way to describe what we see most, if not all the time, with the financial markets now that we are in a QE era. And I don't think there's any other way of describing it but that. This is the QE era, and interest rates can go. Just make sure there's sound here. Way of describing it but that. Yep, there. I can hear me. I can hear me now. All right, yeah. So in a QE era, interest rates drop. You know, obviously currencies get sold. A dollar gets sold because of it, and inflation is 4 times more than the interest rate. And it's just the classic lack of physical reality. I think that's the only way to describe it at this point. It's a lack of physical reality. But anyway, that's where we are. You can see that weakness. I saw the same strength in euro and British pound. So the dollar is being pushed down at the moment. I'm not sure. And I guess the blue chips. Now there's a combination. What they refer to as blue chips, the stocks. Those are going down in value, and the Nasdaq or the Tech 100 on Dukascopy is kind of a little less on. It's not unchanged. It's down, but it's not falling as hard. So welcome to our world. All right, let's take a look at it. I think right there you can see on J4X we have the Swiss. Moving down with a couple days of red bars on the hinky. We're looking at it, was it 2 days, where's it at, right there, 2 days in a daily sell, and we are 1 week, 2 weeks in a weekly buy, so it's been, that combination. We went to the buy here, and we are breaking down, and you can see we're just on the edge right there of trying to get into the weekly sell. We'll see what happens. It's one of those situations where, it puts you into the sell here from the crazy Friday, and for a change, it actually seems to have some type of validity. That press down is more than what meets the eye. In other words, they knocked the market down for a good enough reason. Obviously, there's some issues, and today Powell and the Treasury Secretary Yellen will speak, and so we'll see what shenanigans they're up to. I saw El Ararian from Egypt, the economist, who's very popular here in the States, basically come out and say that that the Fed chair needs to stop referring to this as transitory, because he's now talking stagflation. So it's getting as far as Alarian is concerned, it's getting worse. And so possibly the reason and the logic behind the slide in the oil sector, because they are knocking that down. Hey Jordan, how you doing? I'll take a sip of my tea as I wait for your response back. We did some good work there yesterday. Good morning, Douglas. How you doing? Good to see you. Things are a little wild and woolly, aren't they? All right, so the tea is swallowed. Let's take a look at the euro. Put it up on J4X first. It's been a daily buy for a few days here. And again, the more that thin Friday, it seems to be holding on, which is very unique in its own right. So it was the beginning. I guess they figured that they could, I didn't see a lot of volume to it. So, whoever liquidated it wasn't like they dumped a ton of everything, Douglas says, tell me about it, Doc. Crazy indeed. Oh, it really is, our interest rates are dropping. Inflation is 4 times greater than our interest rates now, over a 10-year period. Was it I saw European Union put out this morning, I think 4.6 inflation 4.2. I don't know, some combination of both of it. Projected 4.6, and it was actually 4.2, which was good, or yeah, I mean, lower of course, but it's not good. I mean, and who knows with the way they do all the measuring. When socialism really disrupts capitalism and free markets, so it's really hard to identify values. It's like China. They tell us how rich China is, but when they go to pay a 16 million, not billion or trillion, but $16 million bond issuance, they don't have the money. Well, how can you be the second largest economy in the world if you don't have the money for $16 million? I'll wait for the answer on that one. I'm going to sip my tea again. Yeah, so, $16 million, and they let the largest company in China have issues. I mean, does any of that make any sense? It doesn't. It doesn't make any sense at all. So, yeah, we're looking at lots of crazy. Now let's put the euro up on Chicago Quant. As you can see there's the hinkies moving up on Forex. And I think this is the second day or the third day in the buy. That's line 14. Second day, going on the third. We're on the third day now in the buy. All right, so let's put it up there. You can see there, same situation. So this wildness on Friday seems to be carrying forward, which is very unique. I mean, to see something happen with low volume, no action. I mean, no low volume, wild action, and here they are. They're just marching up, still. Like, yeah, that was legit. I could probably say this about that. I know I sound like Richard Nixon there, but what it really comes down to is with Powell speaking today and Yellen speaking today, markets probably want to stand to the side. So whatever noise that occurred on Friday, they don't have much of a desire to challenge it. They're going to let it be for a while longer. We'll see how well it lasts by the end of the speaking engagement today. And that'll tell us right off. All right, from there, we jump over to the cable. See what the cable's doing right there. Cable's doing obviously the same thing. It closed last night on the fact check. Was it in the daily buy? Or is it? It was still on the sell. Yeah, it's still 7 days in the sell. But today we are cleanly through it. You see how here on Forex it's lifting, and over in Chicago Quant, because it's hours ahead of us. Let's see. There. Yeah, so it's it's cleanly through already with a green dot. But the weekly is not exactly telling us that it needs to get long or anything like that. So we'll see how long this lasts too. At the same time, we've seen the cable kind of just kind of goes down in a more relaxed fashion. Compared see where it went into the weekly sell here. It's not that far off of that area, whereas when we go back to the euro, it went into the weekly sell way back in here, up in the 117s. Is that 117s? Yeah, 117s. 117s, where is that? Right? Yeah, 117s, and we've gotten down to the 111s. So there's a lot of pressure in this product. I guess, is that equal, I guess, in many ways? Yeah, so this went into the sell in the 135s, right? The low or high 134s, and it's down in the 33. So, it hasn't really broken down as much. Going long in the 1 minute on cable. Are you now? And did you take a look at the? This is your stochastic / RSI, right? So you got the 1 minute and the 15 minute and the 1 hour all lined up at this point. Jordan Jordan showed us one of his indicators, one of his strategies yesterday, and we were looking at it on here. Let's see if I can go to it. Let's see, right here. I saved it. Right there. There's the hourly. So there's your hourly with the RSI and the stochastics. And right now, the hourly is pressing down, and you're going long. Is your hourly bullish at the moment? Am I off course? I thought you needed all three of these things to line up together. We can go take a look at it on a 15-minute basis too. Let's see, right there. Or we could look at it on a 1-minute basis also. Let's try that. 200 bars back. And you're going long, but aren't you at the top end of your range? See how the work is rolling over? I guess the long was over here you wanted to be involved, especially there. We'll see what Jordan says. Let's see. Yeah, I got the 15, the 5, and the 1 minute, and the hour is down. Right. So you're getting long? Don't you have to wait for it to turn up and close and all that other stuff? All right, so at least we are looking at the same thing. That's good. Okay. Yeah, look at that. Turning right. Let me swallow my tea. It's trying to turn up, I see. Is this whole action here making you want to get long? Is that what it is? All right. Well, do the back test and all the work, and you have confidence in your transaction. You take it. That's the one. Remember, if you don't bid, you can't buy. If you don't offer, you can't sell. So it doesn't matter what research you do. If you don't try to make the trade, it doesn't happen. So I agree with you. If your work tells you to get long, then go for it. I see it's trying to turn up. I myself would have thought you wanted to do it this way, like down in here. And let's see, we're following the blue line, right? Yeah, so I think it's the blue line we're really watching here. When it gets across. So like right there would have been the buy. And I'd be already gone. I'd be in and out. So, alright. Alright, we'll keep an eye on that with you. And let's jump over to the, let's see, what do we do? Oh yes, let's go to the Turkish Lira now. You see Turkish Lira is trying to climb into that daily buy there, and obviously in a weekly buy for a while now, since back in here. Let's take a look at it over on... Oh, would you like to see what just the fast and slow stochastic look like in cable on a 1 minute basis? Let's try that real quick. Since it's sitting there like that. It's filling in at the moment, and then we'll run back over to the Turkish Lira. Since I'm looking at the J4X, and I like our combination, let's see what it says. And it's taking a little work, isn't it? We'll give it a little bit longer a chance. While we're waiting for it to play itself out, let's take a look at the Turkish Lira again, right there. Let's take a look at it through the eyes of the Euro against the Turkish Lira. Right there. Doing the same thing, we're lifting up and trying to go for the highs of all time. Maybe we should do a 5 minute. Oh, I see it's filling in now. See, it fills in the 5. I guess it has to build it up. There we go. All right. And as you can see, yeah, 5 minute. Our 5 minute is, you know, I guess it closed right in here, and it jumped up for a little bit, and now it's backing off a little, and we're at the top end of the range, I guess you could say. Every jump up has been very short-lived. Let's see what the hourly looks like in this thing. How's that look? There you go, there's the hourly. It's trying to back off. There we go. Yeah, that's the hourly is trying to back off, but the hourly has been really more positive. Look at that, right there. All right, from there we go over to Canadian on a daily basis. Let's take a look at that. Did I look? Oh, let's take a look at the Turkish Lira on the Euro combination, just to confirm the way it's moving to all-time highs there. You can see that same situation, getting very close to that. I guess with the inflation, I mean, Turkey has a very powerful inflation. So stopped out, should have waited for the 1 hour. Didn't we just take a look? What did the 1 hour show? Was it turning down? I think it was turning down, right? Yeah. You got to work on your rule on that one. In other words, if the weekly and I thought you said the hourly and the 15-minute and the 1 minute have to be all aligned. Do you wait for them to close, or you're jumping in the middle of it? I always wait for things to close. This way it's easier to confirm. It's a solid rule, you know. All right, let's take a look at Canadian now. Cat, dollar cat. There it is. And let's put it up over here too at the same time. Cat is still firm. It's been in that weekly buy and daily buy. It's just marching along, up and away. Wow, whatever's got this thing all antsy, it's losing money against the dollar. One of these things are doing it finally. I mean, everything else is making money against the dollar. You know, that meeting last week was kind of funny and odd at the same time. Was it on Monday of last week, or was it on the previous week? Either way, you know, the Prime Minister of Canada showed up, and the President of Mexico, and both of them told Biden, you know, stop what he's doing. You know, open up those pipelines on one side and stop letting these people march through Mexico to get to the United States. So it was a combination of both of them. So, you know, maybe that's why we're seeing this weakness. Maybe the Federal Reserve's punishing them. You know how the Democrats are. They like to do that stuff. And so that, yeah, I mean, it's kind of odd. I mean, we're seeing this Canadian really march up. You know, it really seems to be finding a way to go up constantly now. Especially after the conference was, I guess you could say it was right this week. Let's see, so this is somewhere's around in here. Maybe it was 3 weeks ago now. Might have been 3 weeks back. It was like that big bottom was being put in, and then they had the conference, and then all of a sudden this thing started to go up. Might have been 3.5 weeks ago now. But one thing was for sure. And then one of the top Democrats in the opposition against Mr. Biden came out on Friday saying the same thing, basically, open up the pipeline, stop this stuff. I don't know, with the Federal Reserve doing what it wants to do when it wants to do it and not have any opposition, really, really makes it kind of hard, for the free markets to be able to tell us what they really want to do. If it wasn't for my quantitative math, I'd be really lost. Let's jump over to, oh yeah, from Canada. Because of the strength, it's been telling us that basically the oil market should be going down, and it is, which is a real surprise. I thought there was great demand, but Alarian came out with that statement about stagflation, and that's not making everybody feel too good. I don't see the volume, and I think the Fed can just step up and start buying anyway. I mean, what is it for them to buy? I mean, I wonder if they're in the oil market now and just buying in the oil market. I mean, they can. When you can print money, you can buy anything you want. And what's that? That's not gas. Look at that gas, getting clocked, getting knocked down. And then let's see, right there is John Oil getting knocked down at its lows. So yesterday they tried to take it up, and it failed at it. I mean, it got almost back up to the gap. But look at that big gap they put into that thing. That was that Friday crazy. And as much as it looks crazy now, or as much as it looked crazy then, it's starting to get traction. And today will be a real test of it, because if that trend holds up, it was the Democrats and the people in the Federal Reserve and so forth front running the whole marketplace, knowing that they're doing something. In other words, they are going to put pressure on these products and force the Fed to buy. I wonder if anybody's going to ask the Fed, are you buying oil contracts today? What a hoot. I don't know if he'd answer them. That's the problem. But I'll tell you, if I was a senator, I'd be asking him, are you in the oil energy market right now and investing? All right. And you can see that action there. Let's take a look at the metals complex. Metals are firmer today, I want to say. Not by a lot, but, some. Let's put it up on there, too. There's February gold. Yeah, see. And they're off their highs of the day already. We're not in a buy. We're showing a volatility signal. And we're still in the weekly buy it, though, at the same time. Whereas poor silver, just to give you a quick flash of that, it's in the weekly sell for a second week and daily sell for a couple weeks now. So that is usually what we look at after we leave the Canadian. Let's see. Jordan says, I re-entered long, thinking we'll see 15-minute Stoke turn bullish before the 1 hour Stoke does. I don't know. Only your back testing can tell you that. Does that normally do that? That's the only way you can use a system like this is you need to back test it, see what consistency it has, and then follow it. Let's see. Tea is good this morning. All right, from there, let's jump over to let's see. That's Canada, and we've looked at the oil and energy real quick. We'll come back to it, but let's take a look at right there. We're going to take a look at the South African rand, which is probably punching through the sky. There it is there. Oh, look at that. That's kind of a little surprising. It's not. For 2 days now, it's trying to move back down a little bit. We're still in the buy on the weekly and the daily. Let's just take a look at it here. All right. Then let's take a look at the ruble. A little surprise here on the South African rand. Maybe we're topping out. I don't know. Or are they going to build a base and take off even more? I mean, when's the last time it was up this high? It's been a while. November of 2020. And there's the ruble. Ruble's doing the same type of stuff, flirting on the edge of sell yesterday, but didn't fall into it, and it's right there in that weekly. So we've been in a weekly buy since here and a daily buy since there, and you can see we're getting a little action here and looking a lot like the South African rand at the moment. Then let's check out the yen. Oh, let's check it out on Forex just real quick. There's the ruble right there. We'll sip our tea while it's calculating. Lots of flashing. Right. So basically, right here, that's the lack of desire to get pushed back down. It doesn't want to let go. I guess all that political noise has got it shaken. Come on, ruble, you can do this. Let's try the yen, just real quick, and we'll come back to the ruble on Forex. There we are. Just a little noise, isn't it? Well, let's go check it out over here. And there is the yen. You see it just slowly drifting down in that 3 days of sell now, and a weekly sell of a couple weeks. So this is going on the third week. And everything is making that crazy Friday look a lot more real, that's for sure. There's the yen there. Same situation. Now let's check out the ruble on it real quick. I'd imagine ruble will have problems. I mean, some of the weirdest questions I heard yesterday on news, you know, I mean, they think that Russia's getting ready to create World War XII or something like that. I don't know. Sometimes the media just is such insane. No doubt. You know, I mean, the president was at Ukraine said something about a coup or something, but overall, things are, I have a hard time believing they're that weird. All right. I'm sure I'm sure he has legit complaints and so forth. I mean, America was supposed to back him up, and Mr. Obama and Mr. Biden and Mrs. Clinton tried to overthrow Russian and overthrow Mr. Putin at the same time, tried to coup d'etat. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure that now that Biden's in there as president, Ukraine must feel very nervous, and Poland and the rest of them. Okay, you can see the ruble there just sideways down a little bit. All right, last one we look at is the Mexican peso, right there. Let's put that up on the screen. All right, I just saw you. I should park all these things down below. I think I might do that by the end of the day. There's Mexican peso. And there, you know, it's hitting the curve of the of the parabolic that we put in. You know, just the oval. And you can see here there is some, you know, weakness coming on. In other words, the dollar is getting a little bit firmer against it, so that's pretty cool. But the strength is still here, and we're still in the buy, so it's there. So we'll see how well that lasts out here. And the same thing's going on in Forex. You can see it's still holding on to the green, but you see the line starting to come down, just like our work is doing right there. All right. And that kind of finishes off to all the pairs trades. I guess that's what we do. We go with Swiss, Euro, cable, Cable. Turkish Lira to Canadian, Canadian to the metals real quick, and then we go to South African Rand, we go to the ruble, and then from the ruble we go to the yen, and from the yen we go to the peso. So we do 9 pairs trades. You know, we look at every day, not counting anything anybody would like to see. We have tons of others we could show you, but we do those 9, and just to get a flavor of what's going on in the world. All right, so now let's jump back to the metals complex, and there is silver there, and that could be you know, much more entertaining in some ways, and that is that and in some ways what it really comes down to is that the silver, let's put it up on here at the same time, and there it is, March silver. We've moved over to March silver from DEC. DEC almost has no volume at all now, and we'll see how that plays itself out. I mean, it's been in a daily sell since right there, and then it's been cruising down. So it's dropped from the 27s, 26s, all the way down to the, where are we at now? 22s. Oh man. Can't they lift this product up? Doesn't the world know that there's inflation? I mean, it really is irritating. All right, and then we saw gold doing, it's off its highs. That's for sure right there in Feb gold, you know. But it's still in a weekly buy. So what an odd situation. Been in a sell since the 1860s and a weekly buy at the same time. So at least you're not losing money from the long. It's just that you're not catching the short, unless you're doing binaries and options. That's the only time you can just follow the daily without the weekly, is by using options and binaries. This way you won't get stopped down. All right, now let's jump over to copper. Oh, let's just look at it real quick right there. You see that? Look at that long slide going on with the J Forex and the silver. Let's go back to that really, really quick. Like a bunny. We're going to go there quick. Yeah, long slide. See? Long slide. Now let's jump over to copper. There it is there. And there it is. Copper, right there. Now, ever since the crazy Friday, it's just sideways up, I guess you could say, but the work is telling us no. And it's been in a weekly sell since 2 weeks ago here, and we were in a long, so you couldn't be long again unless you're doing binaries. So this has had you neutral pretty much since, like, right here. You've been in a neutral stance since that one little pop. It's like, what? You've missed, like, 7-8 days of trades, but at least you're not losing any money. That's how it works around here with the math. So, it's just, you can be long, you can be short, or you can be in a neutral. In this case here, it's been screaming at us from the top of its lungs, be neutral. All right, from there, I guess platinum we thought for sure was the thing they really abused more than anything else. We'll take a quick look at that. There's the Jan contract. And it's been in the sell since up in here. And they beat that thing down from the 1075, and now it's trading at 930. What's today's low? 938, 933, 1075. So almost $1.50, $150. They took $75 out of one. They took $3 out of silver, and they took $145, $150 out of platinum. And that's been in a weekly sell for now a second week. And if you told somebody, yeah, we got 6% inflation and 4% inflation in Europe, it'd be like, what? And they're selling the metals complex? Who would have thunk? It just shows you how off course things are. Even the thing that's really bothering the daylights out of me is look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is sideways and have been in a daily sell since up in here. And at least they're not crushing it, It's been really stalled out now. It's like a reverse head and shoulders thing going on. And we've been in the weekly sell from this week also, and but in the daily sell since like right there. So I don't have a negative thing to say about the cryptos, but I was really hoping that the cryptos could be more representative of real world concerns. In other words, you see 6% inflation. You think the Bitcoin would be trading at 75, not 58, or at least say 68 to 72, something like that. All right, so that's pretty much the metals complex. Let's go over to natural gas. We'll take a look at the rest of the energy complex. And there is Jan gas. You see the pressure on that right along with oil, the crude oil itself. And it's been in that weekly sell since back in here. So there's a definite concerted effort to put pressure into the energy complex. Okay, what if they hold the energy complex in check for the next couple of months? Federal Reserve's out there supporting it, keeping it down. And then the summer season gets going along and they explode going right into the election. So in other words, all the shenanigans that they're doing right now could be really painful in the next few months. And then let's take a look at, there's heating oil. The heating oil is doing the same thing. It went into the weekly sell back in here, back at the end of October, going into November. And you can see the pressure there. This is January heating oil at a 3-month low, I guess you could say. Let's see. Yeah, pretty much 3-month low since September, really. September, October, November. Yep. All right, and then let's see if anybody's saying anything. Middle age, what's happening? I missed the euro, Doc. You can't miss something you never lost. It's here, baby. Here it comes, coming around the mountain when she comes. It's like the same. It's funny. The 3 majors are really acting. Actually, the 4 majors are acting pretty strong. It's only the Canadian that's really off course, I guess you could say. Let's see. The yen is going down against the dollar, right? Yeah. So that's strong against the dollar. The Swiss is strong against the dollar. The euro coming around the mountain when she comes. See, you didn't miss anything. It's strong against the dollar. And then cable is firm against the dollar. And then Canada is weak. Look at that. So you didn't miss anything. The euro is being the euro. And it's making Crazy Friday look a lot more logical. We'll see. What we were saying earlier is that we'll see, because of the way the majors are acting, after Mrs. Yellen and Mr. Powell speak today, we'll see how much it changes course from the from the Friday swing. Oh, you can't. Oh, I'm so sorry. We'll do that again. So there is the euro, and see the weekly is still having its issues right there. It can't get rolling along. And then let's see, what was it? Then it was the cable, which is firm against the dollar, but its weekly can't get going either. So it's short-lived, this stuff. And then the Swiss is flirting with a weekly sell, but still in a buy. But the daily's been in a sell for 3 days now, and it's pushing down. So the majors are definitely firm against the dollar, or strong, And then even in the yen right there, the yen's doing the same thing after Crazy Friday. It's still holding up in its trend. So it's beating up the dollar also. Less yen to a dollar. And then, last but not least, the Canadian's the only one that's doing the opposite. The Canadian is rising. So there's more Canadians against the dollar. So they're the only one that's weak. No problem, Middle Age. No problem at all. Coming around the mountain when she comes. That's the euro and the 4 majors out of 5. Now let's see. We left off at copper. What else we got to look at over here on J4X? I guess what we could do is the stock indices are showing some interesting life in them today. So why don't we take a look at the stock indices? Let's see, where are we at? Let's start off with the Tech 100. Right there. Now with interest rates dropping, right, that's what they're doing. Let me just show you real quick what they're doing with the interest rates today. When the price of the bond goes up, it means that interest rates are going down. It does that inverse thing. Let's see, where we go here. We'll find it in a second, and then we'll come back to this. So, right there's the 30-year bond, and it's at the highs of the day. You know, it's hanging out up there, and we're in a weekly buy since back in here. It's almost like a concerted effort. Everything, you know, they're playing their game. They know they need to do this stuff. They know they need to do it. So then, see, that's right. The tech is filling in. It'll fill in, and then we'll go to the tech. So interest rates are rising. I'm sorry. Interest rates are going down, which they should be rising since we have 6% inflation. Instead, this thing's yielding like 1.7 or 1.6. So it's like, you know, 3 times less inflation or 4 times less inflation right now. It's like, what? Are you crazy? Bonds are trading 4 times less inflation? Who's giving away free money like that? You know, I want some. So then you go over to, let's see, what is it? What's the next one? So then you see that. So then obviously, you know, we take a quick look at the metals complex and we go, oh yes, gold and silver should be going through the roof. Nah. Free money for everybody. Okay, so now let's jump over to the Nasdaq. There's the Tech 100, and it is flirting with a daily sell. We got a volatility thing going on there, red and green simultaneously, and the weekly is leaking like a little rowboat out in the middle of the lake. But not yet. It's not getting ready to sink yet. And so that's the Tech 100. Now, normally this product is very, very firm when interest rates are dropping. But not today. Not today. And then what we do is we go take a look at, say, the Grand Lady. We're going to go in between today. We'll go over to the, this is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Let's see, where is that thing at the moment? It is, let's just put, there it is. It's down 394. It was down about 450, I think, at one point. Let's see, what's the low today? 680 is the, no, the low is 450. So it was down 600 points. It's only down 400 points right now. And you can see that pressure on it, but it's been in a weekly sell for 2 full weeks, going on a 3rd week. So the pressure's on there. So this is like the bluest of the blue, the best of the best. You know, it's the best stocks in the United States. Whereas when we go to this one right here, the S&P 500, this is 50% of the stocks in the S&P 500 are American, and the other 50% are international companies. You know, like Siemens and so forth. Royal Dutch Shell, you know, I think Barclays is in there. You know, there's a bunch of British companies in there and so forth. A few German companies too, and you know, so on and so on. You know, continental companies, and you know, from Denmark and so forth. And you know, and the end result is that it's a global index. Now you can see here that is flirting, going into the weekly sell last week. It is pressuring now today the daily sell again, and you can see the weekly is deeply down. And again, the Tech 100, which usually reflects the value of interest rates. In other words, as interest rates are dropping, it goes up. But all these stock indices are getting beat up pretty well. Which again is my sip of tea. Again, it's making the Crazy Friday look like a real effort by more than just a few traders, but maybe by the Federal Reserve. Maybe they figured since it was thin. Well, I'm speculating now. I guess if it was very thin, and the Federal Reserve and the politicos are, people in politics are behind that sell-off, then they decided to start the ball rolling when it was weak, so that they could knock it down. And now they're not letting it up. So yesterday, when they got the Dow to go up a couple hundred points, and still only a 33% bounce, but they had the Tech 100 do a full 100% bounce back up, and like a 50% bounce for the S&P 500. They're taking that back out of it right now. That's we don't know what they're going to do with Yellen and Powell today. What path they're going to try to lead them down. Alarian probably has freaked them out a little bit, in the idea that he's now beating the drum of stagflation. I think he's a Democrat too, so I don't think that is not exactly. He's a good economist, as far as I'm concerned, but I know that he supports the Democrats. At least I thought he supported the Democrats. So it's not like it's like a Republican doing this stuff. He's talking, I guess, his book and his fear of the inflation, and something that he really has pressed hard on Powell and Yellen to stop saying transitory. It's not transitory. For him to come out and say it's stagflation besides inflation is probably the thing that's really got people nervous. That's probably what's really got. That's the real bugaboo, as they would say. That's really the little flea that's biting. All right. Let's jump over. That's the 3 indices. And also at the same time, let's just take a look at the Russell 2000, which is like the weakest of our indices right there. And it closed in a weekly sell last week. And look how much it's now off the highs. We saw that market. We were wondering about that. Some people were speculating. It went up, made new all-time highs going into November that week, and then it's just been selling down since. Our daily, how long have we been in the daily sell? Let's check that out. We've been in a daily sell since literally the top, literally the highest point. That day was all-time 2460.7, all-time high. Let's see what this is. Yeah, so that it closed at the day on the all-time high. It closed in a daily sell, and that week was rolled over and rolled over again. But it's been in a daily sell for this whole ride down from 2450 to 22. So this is our smallest stock index, I guess you could say. It has under $5 billion companies in it. I don't think if you have value of over $5 billion, you can't be in this index. I think that's how it works. So the Russell 2000 is indicative of the weaker. Oh, wrong color. Right there. So the pressure is now really on, and we'll see how that one plays out with stagflation, because these companies don't make a lot of money. It's not like Dow Jones Industrial Average 30. They're all making money on some level. They may not be making as much money, or they may be underperforming their estimates. But this company, this stock index, like I said, I think the highest company in there is a $5 billion company. I think it's 500 million to 5 billion makes the Russell 2000. So they're what they call low capitalized companies, very small. And that's interesting in its own right there. Right. All right. And what else we got going on there? I think this, Robin and I should put this out into the ether, I think we'll do a chart on this today. What else can I say about that? I guess that's about it. All right. Matter of fact, I think we'll put that into the title too today. Between the 5 major stock indices, not stock indices, 5 major, what do you call it? 5 major Forex, doing what they're doing, and then we'll put the Russell 2000 in there. And combine the two together, that's pretty cool. Cool beans. All right. Let's see. What's let me make a copy of this. I think I'm going to save this. Save this image. Do we have this in there? Where's the Russell? There it is, right there. And we're going to send it over to him. You know what we can do is we type this in there too, like all-time high. All time high. And we went into a daily sell. Gotta put an E in there. There we are. I guess we should spell out high like GH. We'll put a capital A. And so that will be the, I think we should post that. Definitely. So we go down like that. Right there, like that. We can put another red line in there like this. Oop, cancel. Now I got this idea, I better capitalize on it. Like that. All-time high. And that thing went into a sell. I guess we should call it day sell instead of sell day. Paste. And make it a capital D so Robin doesn't get freaked. There we are. Day sell. There we go. All right. I feel good now. I think we've got that all done. I can send that over to Robin. Save. And the Russell. I think it's well worth people realizing what's going on. I mean, that's the rubber meeting the road, you know. Save it all the way, so I don't have to redo that. I hate when I have to redo that. All right, from there, let's see. We've done all 4 stock indices. We looked at the Bitcoin, and let's just show you the intraday going on right now. Let's see, where's it at? Right there. There it is. There's the intradays of the same things, the S&P 500. This is the Tech 100 or Nasdaq you have on Dukascopy, and that's also it. I watch these 3 for intraday trading, and then I watch these 2 right here and there for confirm, like the way Jordan does with his hourly. When they all line up, I take it. And then right here is the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which you can see right there is down 403. And so that's the action that we're really seeing at the moment here. All right. Anybody want to see anything else? We're getting kind of towards the end of the road around here. So, you know, we can always throw up another chart or 2 if anybody needs to see it. And we'll go on from there. Because we've done everything we like to do. So usually I'd like to answer some questions. If it's possibility. Yeah, let's see. Nothing so far? Nothing so far. All right. Well, I guess we'll just sing our way out of here, I guess, you know. We'll wait a few more seconds because we got about 2.5 minutes. So we can easily, I can go hunt down something else. Oh, here we go. Middle Age says, I would like to see March corn rally back up to that. Let's see what March corn looks like. We will go there right now. We're going to head there right now. All right, let's go find March corn. Oh, I gotta open it up. There we go. And push this over. I noticed that the grains looked kind of weak overall, you know. You know what's really firm is the feeders. Feeders, like, you know, they're buying the calves. Curious in many different ways there. And let's see, where's it at? Here it comes. And there is, let's see, which one did you say? March corn, yeah. There's deck corn. You see the pressure's on that today, but still in a buy, flirting with the weekly sell. See, it's 10. It's right on the edge of falling into a weekly sell. And then let's look at the March corn. Let's see, right there. There's May corn. There's March corn. There's September corn. There's March corn. There we are. Same situation. Pressure's on it, and it's flirting with its weekly sells. It's at. It's actually touching it at the moment as we speak. It's at 0.05, minus 0.05. So it's actually flirting with the weekly sell. All right, there we are. Out we go. Happy trails to you. Until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. All right, traders, catch you all tomorrow on Happy to Hump Day.